Okay, this lecture is on layer effects. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to grab my move tool and I'm going to make sure that my car is selected. And I can either go here if I know what particular effect I'm going to apply, or I can double click the car, not on the title but kind of off to the side, and it'll pull up all of those same effects here where you can kind of experiment a little bit more, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and for this one I want a drop shadow. Alright, so drop shadow is in here. Now you can go here and move it there, or you can also, notice this is moving here simultaneously, okay? And you can do things like size. Okay, that changes it. And you can also change the angle that it's coming in, but that can be controlled just by moving it. That's how I like to do it, okay? So I've got mine there. I'm going to go ahead and tweak it just a bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. All right, and I'll pretend like I'm satisfied with it, even though I could tweak it more. Now, there's a bunch of different effects. I'm not going to go through all of them. Again, go in there and experiment, try things out, okay? There's some links to some tutorials down there that you guys can access if you're interested in doing things such as movie titles, okay? Now, I'm going to try a different one. I'm going to go into this movie title, and I'm going to double-click it. And you can try different things. I'm just going to go ahead and click on some of these, okay? I checked off the box here, but to get the options, all the options here to change, I would need to click on this one. And then you notice all the options change, okay? And here you can change things like the depth. Notice it's changing a little bit, all right? The size, okay? All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that there. And then I'm going to go and try a stroke all the way around it. So I'm going to have to click on the actual stroke panel here so that it gives me the options for that. And you can change the size of the stroke. You can change the color of the stroke. And then I'm going to hit OK. All right, so there's different ones: inner shadow, inner glow, satin, color overlay. Color overlay is basically if you want to quickly change the color, you can go in here and then you can select a different color. I'm going to go ahead and try the blue. Okay, so it's one way to test other colors without having to go and select your text and applying it permanently. All right, and then gradient overlay, pattern overlay, outer glow, and drop shadow. Okay, so just go ahead and experiment with some of those. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Now I've got a movie title, and now I can go to the tagline and treat it also. So I'm going to go to the tagline, and I'm going to add some inner glow, some outer glow, some stroke around it. And I'm not saying it looks beautiful, we're just trying different things, and I'm going to hit OK. Now notice in the layers palette, for every one of your layers you have different effects applied. You can turn certain ones off and you'll notice some changes happening. Okay, so that you can experiment with what looks good and what doesn't look good, okay? You can fold them here. All right, so you can tuck them back in, and then to open them you would do the same, okay? And if you wanted to edit them, what you would want to do is just double click on the actual effect and then go in here and modify anything you don't want, okay? I'm going to hit OK. One last thing that's really cool about this, or at least that I find very useful and as a shortcut, you can copy layer styles and paste them to other objects. So once you have something that you totally like say I like this movie title and I want to make this one the same, I could easily just copy the layer style, or I could even apply it to a different item. Okay, so to do that, you would go to the effect that you like and you'd select it, and you would right click, and you would go to copy layer style, and then let me paste it onto this flower. I'm going to select the flower and I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to paste the layer style. I'm going to turn that on so you can see what happened. And because it had a color overlay, it applied it to that flower. Okay. All right, so this concludes your lesson on effects. If you have any questions, I led at hawaii.edu or 808-343-9565.